All right, I'm going to go through factoring quadratics intro and then factoring quadratics with a common factor. Factoring quadratics intro. So this is the game where we're trying to write this as two binomials. So we're going to have x there, we're going to have x there. And then the game is find two numbers that multiply to give you 2 and add to give you 3. So the first thing a lot of people do is make a list of all the possible numbers that multiply to 2. Now this one is pretty short. It's 2 and 1, or it's -2 and -1. And once you get these pairs, you check the addition part. So one of these pairs is going to add up to this number. And it happens to be this one this time. So then we put +2 here, +1 there, and that's our answer. So I have factored it into two binomials. And the way I know it works is if I were to FOIL this, or do the boxes like you were doing the last few sections, you would get the exact same answer that we started with here. All right, so this is the same thing. They're just approaching it from the opposite direction. So they're saying width times x minus 5 equals x squared minus 11x plus 30. So you don't have to do as much as you might think you do for this one. I know that whatever is here is going to get multiplied by this, and it's going to give me this answer. So what times x gives you x squared is x. And then for this second piece, you don't even have to worry about the 11. You can use it to check, which I'll show you in a second, but really it's just -5 times what number gets you this positive 30. And that's -6. And then the way this -11 plays in is if you look at the -6 and the -5 and you add those up, that's -11. So this is the game I was telling you a second ago. Two numbers that multiply to be -30 and add to be -11. Well, what are those numbers? Those are -6 and -5. So they're asking for the width, which is the one they didn't give you. So they gave you the x minus 5, so I'm giving them the x minus 6. Those are probably tougher than the normal ones. So again, here, what two numbers multiply to give you this times and add to give you this. So 21 could be 21 and 1, -21, -1. It could be 7 and 3, -7, -3. And this is the pair that adds up to -10. So that is our answer. This is another of the area ones. So I'm going to kind of see if I can talk through shortcutting this. I know that this x squared, here, I guess I'm not going to shortcut it quite yet. This is x squared. If I go the boxes backwards, this is a 10. This is x, and this is -5. So then the question is, what goes in these two spots up here? This is probably a better way to explain this than the way I did before. So x squared times what gives me x? Is an x. And then x squared times, so I know this is 10. And that is this box times this box. So this box must be a -2 because -2 times -5 is 10. And then if I want to double check, I can fill in these two boxes also. And what do these two add up to? They add up to -7x. So the x minus 5 is what they gave you over here. You just found the length is x minus 2. So there's factoring quadratics intro, and then let's do factoring quadratics with a common factor, which is
Avril
adding a
was trying to
step
factor 6x squared minus 18x.
beforehand.
Avril was trying to factor
Oh, go away.
6x
I just
squared.
want to do the problems. Thank you, Saul. I appreciate your offer, but I'm good. All right, so this is going to be the last two things we did combined. So I could factor this right now, like into two binomials, but it's a lot easier if I look at a common factor first. Very often the common factor is the number in front of the x squared. So if I look at what's the biggest number that goes into -2, 20, and 48, it's 2. And I'm going to choose -2 because I do not want that first number to be negative. That'll make my life harder. And then remember, you're reverse distributing, so you're dividing everything in there by -2. That gets me to this, and now I can play that game. What multiplies to 24 and adds to -10? Well, multiplies to 24. That's a lot of things. 24 and 1, -24 and -1. 12 and 2. Put your hands on the steering wheel. -12, -2. 8 and 3. -8, -3. 6 and 4, -6 and -4. And so one of those pairs better add up to -10. I didn't even mean to do this, but it was the last one I did. So then the way you would write it would be like this. So that -2 came out at the beginning. That goes here. And then we took this and split it up even further into these two binomials. That's the game in this section. So here I'm going to divide by 7. It is the biggest number that goes into all three of those, and usually it's just the number in front of the x squared also. That 7 doesn't disappear. It's hanging out on the outside, right? So it's x squared plus 4x minus 5. And then you're trying to break this down further by, okay, what multiplies to -5 and adds to 4? And that's going to be +5 and -1. So 7 times x plus 5 times x minus 1. All right. Was that the second one? Yeah, so then you got a quiz, and more videos.